Hey everyone, this is Cory with Running Lane. In the lead up to the newly announced Kansas City relays put on by Running Lane, we're going to put together a few interviews with top talent entering the field. And this is the beginning of that series. And what better way to start out an interview series but to talk with Brian Burns of Bentonville, Arkansas. You know, Brian is a highly accomplished middle distance runner, close to breaking that sub-4 barrier in the mile. Just this indoor season, Brian, you've run 4 flat 09, 4 flat 38, 401, 402. Outdoor season, you ran 404, 404. Obviously, really talented in the mile. In the 800, 149, 150 indoors. So just truly accomplished so far in your career. So, Brian, congrats so far, and just thanks for being with me for this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How do you feel so far? Because, you know, you had a really good indoor season. It's the start of the outdoor campaign. What's going through your head?
Yeah, I think right now I really just want to get some good training in and just kind of get my feet back under me. Like I said, I was sick this week, I guess, coming back from Boston. I got, I think, the flu and knocked me out pretty good the last 4 or 5 days. So I really just want to get my legs back under me, get a couple good weeks of training in, and then first goal or first thing that my eyes set on is going out to Arcadia and hopefully getting a good 3,200 time in. That's something I haven't done yet really in my career, but I think that if you can, you can piece together the cross campaign and then the mile, I think it's definitely there, and I think I'm pretty fit, so just want to go out there and try to convert that into a 32 and see what I can do, because I haven't ran one since sophomore year. So be good to kick my season off with that, and then probably hopefully drop it down in distance and go chase some fast miles and 8s at the Kansas City relays and beyond, and then we'll see where the season takes me after that. So
what are you chasing after? You can chase after a lot of things. You can chase after wins, championships, you can chase after times, you can chase after progress. For you, obviously, there's a lot of things kind of boiling together, but for you, what is it about?
I think for me, obviously, you want to win every race you go into, but the bigger goal for me is to go chase the record books and try to cement, my name in high school history among the greats. And I think I have a really good opportunity to do that this spring and summer. So for all across the board, I just want to go prove that I am one of the best high school distance runners to ever come through this country, and whatever it takes to do that. If it's beating everybody or winning big meets, or just going and running national record times or whatever it takes. And I think the big thing is just to try to be. I want to be the best in this class, and this is a class of really good talent, really good guys. Not just in my class too. You got a lot of good juniors and sophomores. So I really just want to rise to the top in the country this year and go try to take down some great fields and win some big races. And then I think times will be there, but we'll also have opportunities to chase some fast times and get some meets set up where we are chasing times, maybe more so than the win. Probably might come with it, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. Just get after it.
You've shown great progress through your career, which started in Missouri and shifted to Arkansas in 2025 when your dad got the job at the University of Arkansas with the women's program. But I guess from that junior season, when you really started to put some things together, can you talk to me about whether it was easy to sort of see that progress in real time, or was it was building blocks? Was it harder sort of to see those steps every single day? Like, how did the progress come together for you?
I think it's a little bit of both. You just never really know. Like, you just never know where the season's going to go from here. And it's like, sometimes it's hard to see it. Like, even now, it's still, sometimes it's like, you're 4 flat, you're so close to a sub 4, but sometimes it doesn't even register to me. It's like it just still feels the same every day. I go about, my normal day and just feels the same. So, but I think, it is about building and progressing and, not just at the high school level. Obviously, you want to go on and do big things in college and then hopefully carry that on into a professional career after. But, so I think junior year, it was, we had to move, and it was a little crazy kind of getting situated, but I'm very grateful for the program that we found and here at Bentonville with a great coach and came into a great group of people as well and had a great class. And I think that made a big impact. Had a big impact on me was the class and the guys I was surrounded with every day. And so like guys that wanted to work hard and had big goals. And so for me to be able to come in there and be a part of that group, I think it pushed me quite a bit. And um, yeah, sub 150 and sub 405 were my big goals going into my junior year. And at the time, it was kind of hard to see it. It was, coming off of 415, 154 as a sophomore. It's like, dang, that's gonna be a big jump, and that's tough to see right now. But kind of over time, you can see it gets cut down, and it's not always gonna be linear. But for me, I feel like I've been pretty lucky that it has been pretty linear. But
Yeah.
I think you can kind of see it in real time. I went 410 indoors, and then went outdoors, had a couple race, maybe a race or two. Like, yeah, I went 410 indoors, then went out to Arcadia and ran 412 outdoors. Like 2 months later, and I was like, dang, like what happened? I was hoping to go run 405 right there. So that was kind of a little bit of reflection on that, and then moved on, went and ran 409 on a super windy day, and then came back at Running Lane and went 404. At a great atmosphere and great race there, and super fun to be a part of. So, and then the 800 as well was just kind of chopping down. I think I ran 154 like 4 times indoors, and then went to New Balance Nationals. We chased the win and the national record there, and I ended up splitting 150 on the anchor. And we're like, all right, there's some that's a big breakthrough. That shows that I'm ready to go run faster, in the 8 and the mile. So from there, that was good confidence going into outdoors, and then yeah, from there I think I went 152, and then chopped it down. I think actually I might jump from 152 to 149, but really it's more so in the training and the workouts where you can kind of see, I think, the progression. And I feel like you can gain a lot of intel from your workouts. You don't need to necessarily go race all the time to kind of prove your fitness and where you're at. I think you can get a good gauge of that from workouts. So.
And those 800s last year, where you were kind of stuck at a time and you eventually broke through, probably gives you an example of sort of where you are right now in the mile, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it gives you, does that give you a lot of confidence or belief that it will come?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so many different things that you can kind of nitpick about every single one of those races too. Where I .09, like, come on, you can make that up in so many different ways. And just a better lean, maybe even some people are joking about that. But yeah, I think it definitely does give me a lot of hope, or I mean, yeah, just kind of confirmation that it's definitely there. I'm fit enough to do it. Just gotta go find a good race to do it in, and that's not always the easiest thing to do, especially early this season and outdoors with got to deal with a lot of weather and kind of other things that are out of your control often. So we're just gonna take it slow. I'm not in a rush to go break 4. I know I'm ready to. So I think the bigger goal to me is to go like obliterate it. You're talking about having been so close 3-4 races in a row, and I think that is often a very big sign of a big breakthrough is coming, and especially if you can be that consistent, I think is a good sign that it's gonna be it's coming, it's there. Yeah, like you said, similar thing happened with the 800 last year, and even then I was kind of frustrated. I was like banging my head against the wall, like 154, 154, 154, and I was like, there's got to be a breakthrough coming at some point. And then it just takes getting in the right race. I got in the right race. I had a guy to chase down, and I went split 150. So yeah, I think the similar thing is coming, and I think the next time I run the mile, my goal is more so than just breaking 4. I want to, like I said, go obliterate it and try to go 357 or whatever. And so I think almost now it's like I'm so close that it's not even the sub 4 barrier that my mind is around. It's like I want to go run 357, instead
Yeah.
of just 359. Like I think obviously I'd be happy to break 4, but I think my goals are kind of shifting to where it's like 4 flat indoors. I want to go 355 outdoors, So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're almost moving beyond that. Even though it hasn't happened yet, I think I'm almost kind of moving beyond that point of the 359 or whatever. So.
Well, I want to ask about support system because you mentioned a great find with Bentonville. The program when you moved to Arkansas, you found a great
Yeah.
program in Arkansas or in Bentonville that's well known, reputable. Being in Fayetteville, new environment, new temperate client, like everything.
Yeah.
Your family obviously is a great support system with your parents, your brothers.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how that has helped shape you and define who you are at this point in your life, those support blocks around you?
Yeah. I mean, it means everything to have that support and that guidance, and you learn so much from everyone. Even my younger brothers, older brothers, parents. There's so much to learn in the sport, and I think I'm always picking up new things and trying out new things and just learning, and that's always a big part of it. And then I think just having the support, and to come back, lean back on when you have a bad race or when you have a great race to go celebrate with and enjoy it. And then also just through the ups and downs and through the training and just lots of advice and good guidance it can take you a long way, I think. And I get a lot of that from inside the house and also from teammates and Coach Power, a coach here at Bentonville. He was an Olympian for Australia back in his day, so he knows a thing or two as well. So there's lots of information available here, lots of great stuff to learn, and I think I've been just trying to soak in as much as I can. And also, I think a big piece of this kind of senior campaign has just been learning and trying to grow as much as I can. And obviously, big goals this season throughout the rest of the spring and summer, but also just trying to carry over as much as I can into the next step of my career. And maybe if I can have a little jump on anyone else that's moving up, that's always a good thing. And with everything, just managing travel and just taking that into the next level, I think is also really good. And I'm very blessed to have a great system and where I can maybe learn a lot of things I can carry over. So
I'm curious, Connor, who's at the University of Oregon, kind of went through all of this before you did, and now you're kind of in the same position as him, traveling across the country, racing, elite fields, elite times.
yeah.
Has he given you any advice, or did you take anything away from watching him a couple of years ago?
Yeah, yeah, I think for sure. I still to this day go back and watch his old races, and there's a lot you can take out of those for sure, and just how he raced, who he raced, how they raced, what meets he raced at, and what the atmosphere was like. And I think a big part of it has kind of been planning out where I want to go. Seeing those meets that he was at, like Festival Mile, is always really cool. And I don't think he ever went to Running Lane, but that's also something where I get to kind of create something new for myself and be like, hey, he never went there, but that doesn't mean I can't. And that was where I had a big breakthrough race last year. So it's cool in both ways, where you can take a lot from him and you can learn a lot from him, but you can also kind of create your own path and do your own thing in a little bit. So
Sure.
just kind of piecing it together. And I think the next ones to come along, like Sean, he just ran 4:13 yesterday. He's a sophomore, so he'll be coming through, and he can maybe take some from me, take some from him, piece it together, and he'll probably even be even more knowledgeable about what he wants to do and about everything, training, and once he gets to this level. So, but yeah, I definitely have learned a lot from him, and to this day, he's always given me his bits and pieces and throwing in some stuff when he can and giving me advice. And so yeah, it's been very very nice for
Very
sure.
cool. Well, I obviously know you're great at track. You're a great, distance runner. But I'm curious, do you have a favorite sport outside of track and field?
Yeah, I played all the sports growing up. Football, or yeah, I did play, I guess, a season of football, but mostly basketball, baseball, a little bit of soccer, and all the way through my freshman year. So I always really enjoyed it, and I would still, if I wasn't running, I would still be playing for sure. But I still will hop in a pickup basketball game here or there or whatnot. Um, but I love watching them all, keeping up with them. March Madness right now just came up from the game. Just watching that with the family, and I love sports. I think that's also probably a pretty important part of development for younger kids as well. If you're going to specialize in a sport, I think it's cool to still do all of them when you're growing up, and you can learn a lot of different skills from that will carry over. But yeah, I love sports. I would say basketball or football probably my favorite ones to watch. So.
Are you a converted Razorback, or are you still supporting the University of Missouri?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty converted to the Razorbacks now. I've been I've been spending a lot of time around the facilities and some of the teams. So a lot of cool people over there or down here in Fayetteville. So I still will root for Mizzou. I still in March Madness I was cheering for them against Miami. So there's definitely still a little bit of loyalty there for sure. but I would say mostly all in Arkansas. So
Okay, fair enough. Fair
yeah,
enough. Okay.
and UNC, of course.
UNC. You
Yeah,
committed to UNC or
yeah,
no?
yeah,
Yeah. Got it.
yeah.
Okay. Any interesting skills that you have outside of sports?
Mm, it's tough. I mean, yeah, I would say I've always been like a big outdoorsman. When we lived in Missouri, we had 10 acres, so I was big hunting and fishing and stuff. So, and golfing. I'm not very good at golfing actually, but I love golf, playing golf. So that's what I usually will do in my free time. Actually been itching to get back on the course, so probably gonna do that tomorrow. But golfing just for fun and fishing and hunting. I think I've learned a lot about those two. Kind of, I guess you can call them hobbies or whatever. But
Yeah.
growing up, that was always something, a couple things I participated a lot in. So.
Okay. With fishing, what type of fishing do you do? Is it just you go out there on the lake and you just try to lure in any kind of fish, or do you do any specific kind of fishing, or is it just sort of leisure?
Yeah, I've always been, or I guess I was just kind of raised in a big bass family. Like we always been really big largemouth bass fishermen, and my grandpa is really big. He owns like a little like strip mine lake up in Illinois, and we'll go up there, and it's like a honey hole. We'll go up there and fish bass all day. But he's also like he's fished tournaments all the time and stuff. So growing up, I was always fishing with him, and my dad's also a really big fisherman. So whenever we get the chance, we'll sneak out on the boat and go fishing. So it's just kind of I was just kind of raised around it. I've grown to love it, and so yeah, big bass. Yeah.
Love it, love it. Goals for 2026. Can you maybe expand on what your major touch points are for the remaining year?
Yeah. I think where I was going with that was, um,
Off my range is one of my big goals, and been doing that.
now and having
A great putting together a great 3200 at Arcadia, and maybe a 2 mile later in the season, a more championship style 2 mile, maybe Brooks or something like that. But I want to show off the range across the board. So got a 32 or 2 mile, and then obviously get a good mile in, a couple good miles in, try to go chase a fast time and some big wins and some big races. And then with the 800 as well, I want to try to go 146 or 147. And just try to get the kind of fine tune the wheels and run some good 800s. I always loved the 800. I think that's probably the most fun race to run is the 800 mile too. But I really love the 8. It's just fast and a little less thinking. Just go out there and run fast and just rip it. So I think that's one of my big goals. Yeah, is to show off the range. Like I said, I want to try to cement myself as one of the best high schoolers of all time, and I think that's a big piece of doing so. Like you see guys like last year, Owen Powell doing something very similar, going 146 and winning Arcadia. I think that's a very good tell of like he was pretty dominant. He had range. Like he's probably one of the top 5 or 10 high schoolers of all time. I think something similar like that would be pretty cool. That's definitely on my list of goals for sure. And then the other thing I want to do is just try to win as many races that I'm in. And I want to work on my kind of tactical skills this season and winning races. And I think last like, couple of years, I was always I was good, but wasn't quite great. I got in kind of I was on the back end of some of those really fast races like Festival of Miles, Brooks PR, Running Lane, those fast races. But I was always kind of like mid pack back end. I think this year I want to kind of flip the script there and go try to win those races. And I think I have a very good ability to do that this year. So just kind of learning how to win races more and get my nose up in there and fighting all the way through the line and finishing hard. That's a big thing I want to work on and a big goal. And yeah, I think just winning races and then specific time goals. I don't know. I think that's all kind of relative. We'll just see how it goes. I think oftentimes the time goals can be pretty limiting. Like if I focus on just breaking 4 minutes, I might only go 3:59. But if I say I want to go 3:55, maybe I'll go 3:55. Maybe I'll go 3:56 or 3:57 or whatever it is. Or maybe I'll break it. Maybe I'll go 3:53, 3:54. I don't know. That's reaching, but you never know. And that's why I don't like to put super limited like or super realistic goals. I think are sometimes can be pretty limited. So I don't want to do that, especially not so early in the season. But I think just chasing some big wins, and I think there'll be those races too where I'll be able to go after some really fast times, and that's also something I'm looking forward to. So
And importantly, you will be doing this at various places across the U.S.
Yeah.
I think it was, I mean, I can't even pinpoint the time when athletes in track just started traveling to races to find, fast times and good competition. But
Yeah.
it's a part of the sport now at the elite level. Can you maybe describe what it's like to travel to races and really, it kind of embodies sort of this, pro lifestyle when you are traveling to races. You were in high school and yet you're sort of traveling to find your best performance too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it really does.
And I think in this day and age too, with NIL deals and stuff like that, can help kind of fund travel even more and open up even more opportunities for people. So like this year has been pretty crazy for me. And last year too, I traveled a ton, but in cross country, I know I missed like 30 days of school or something in the fall semester. So and that was all for races and my college visits as well, which was pretty crazy. So yeah, cross country season was pretty crazy, especially towards the end with the national meets and the regional meets. Kind of bang, bang, bang on back-to-back weekends. So, but this indoor season was also really crazy, and it was a blast. All the traveling was really fun, and getting to go to new places and see these historic places like running at BU, which is something I'd never done until just like a month ago, or a couple weeks ago, whenever I was there. So, but I think the other thing that's really crazy too is like I said, kind of learning much as I can to take it to the next level. And I think travel and and recovering and like racing on the road is also a really big piece of that. And like going into NCAA championships, you got to go, prelims on Friday, finals on Saturday, and you got to learn how to recover and how to get ready to race again really quick. So that was something that was pretty cool. I got the ability to do that a couple times, and specifically after I went up to Sound Running in North Carolina and went 4:02. That was my first real crack at the sub 4, and it just didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. And then 6 days later at home, took a crack at it at Arkansas and went 4:01, and we were like, it just wasn't a great race. I think we went out in 2:02 through 8:09, and that's just not the ideal way you want to do it. So we're like, all right, you can do that, and you can close in 1:28. Like everything is there. You ran 4:01. Let's go take another crack at it. And it just happened to be that my dad was taking one of his athletes up to BU 2 days later to race on Sunday, and that race at Arkansas was on Friday. So we made the last minute decision Friday night. Hey, you're getting on a plane and you're flying to Boston tomorrow at 8 a.m. in the morning. So that was really fun, and it was like, let's go, So I did some stuff I wouldn't normally do. I threw some threshold into the cool down and got an ice bath, a couple ice baths in that time period, and made the trip up to Boston. Got in the hotel, checked in, and everything, and did my pre meet and turned around the next day and raced another mile and went 4 flat .3. So I think that was all just really good experience, and obviously didn't quite get the outcome that I wanted, but a lot I can take from that, and obviously it's there if you can do something like that. I think that's just even more proof that the sub 4 is there. So. Yeah, it is really crazy now. You do travel like a pro, it seems sometimes. So, we've been kicking around the idea of like a Europe trip this summer, which I think would be really cool. But, so yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be very crazy this spring and summer for sure. But, it's really an awesome part of the sport, especially to be able to do that at the high school level. I think is really cool.
You really are learning the lifestyle of what it means to be, a runner. Not just a high school runner, but an elite runner who can perform at a high level wherever that may take you, which is a great skill to have. It's one of the reasons why you were so touted, in terms of recruiting, and why, obviously you probably had your choice of college pro to pick from. So really cool stuff on that end. I want to switch focuses to the Kansas City relays because this is why we're having the conversation. This was a meet that Running Lane stepped up for when the Kansas relays got canceled. And, the big incentive here is just to give high schoolers from, the area a chance to compete on a large stage. So, this meet is really going to provide a lot of opportunities for high schoolers and give good racing across the board. So, can you talk to me a little bit about why you registered, why this meet might be a good fit for you at the time of year in April, and what do you look to get out of it?
Yeah.
So yeah, last year we did take our team to Kansas Relays, and it was a really good experience. It was a lot of fun. I think it was a really good kind of developmental meet in the middle of April, where it's maybe you're not at your peak yet, but you're getting there and you're in good shape, and you get to kind of go test it out a little bit and see where you're at and run some relays. So our team was definitely bummed whenever that got canceled, but then a couple months later, we hear, hey, we're gonna have a meet at Kansas City Relays. Running Lane's putting it on. We're gonna have pace lights or pacers and all that stuff. And it's like, let's come run fast. And like, yeah, let's do it. We were super happy to hear that there was gonna be a replacement and or something else to go to, another option. And I know it's also really big to have a meet like that in the Midwest. I think that early in the season, like there's not many other options for kids, and a lot of people can't travel out to Arcadia or up to the East Coast to go race, and especially like in April, it's just not super realistic. So I think that's a huge for the community and for kind of the Midwest area. It's going to be huge. It's going to enable a lot of people to come down and get some fast races in April and early in the season. So yeah, I think I'm just really excited. Also, yeah, the ability to have a race where you can run fast. Like it's not easy to find atmospheres and setups where you do have pace lights and pacers and good fields, especially in April. Like there's just not many options like that. So to hear, we got a great race going on in Kansas City. It's not far. It's really realistic for us to make. So yeah, I was super excited.
What is that trip for you? Is that a car drive?
Yeah, I think it's
We went up to, yeah, I want to say it's only an hour or two. Yeah, hour or two car
Okay.
drive. Yeah, it's not bad at all.
And I know you're deciding between the mile and the 800, and you have Arcadia beforehand, so you kind of want to pick your poison there where it makes sense. But on the relay end, is Bentonville putting together any distance relays that you might participate in?
Just depending on the schedule. Like if I'm trying to run a fast 8, probably want to go into that fresh. So I think depending
Yeah.
on the schedule, yeah, we do have a very talented team. So I think that is something that we'll be looking at for sure.
Okay. Uh, what are your thoughts going back to Missouri? Obviously, you were born there, grew up there,
yeah.
racing in an area you know well. So what are your feelings going back home?
Yeah. My grandparents live in
Kansas
Kansas.
City, so we've been in that area quite a bit and kind of passed through, been around there quite a bit in the youth years. So yeah, it's cool to go back to Missouri. I think I got a pretty solid fan base there, and I just know a lot of people there, and maybe not fan base, but my name, I guess the Burns name has been around the Missouri
No,
area,
I'm,
so
I'm sure you have
people,
you
yeah,
definitely have fans. No.
I don't know. Probably, maybe. I don't know. But
it's cool to be back where people do know the name, and especially the Burns name is really big in Missouri, and so it's cool to be back. There's always lots of support, and also to race against hopefully some other Missouri competitors that I got to race against a lot when I was in Missouri, and haven't seen as much lately, but hopefully to be back and see some of those guys, and those are a lot of my really good friends or guys that I raced in Missouri, so it's always cool to be back and to meet up with old people, old friends, and get to share some time with them, and also get to go hopefully run fast on the Missouri soil. So
You brought up social media, and I'm curious because you're a high performer. Do you get people that reach out to you, good and bad? Like what's the experience on social media for you?
yeah, I do.
I have like I don't know 2,000 followers, so there's probably other people that get reached out to more than me, but I do get
Yeah.
quite a few DMs of like, "Hey, I'm an up and coming runner. What kind of tips can you give me?" Or even just people being like, "Great race" or "Good stuff." You're so close to sub 4, like stuff like that. I do get a lot of that. And then a lot of like the developmental stuff, like, "Hey, I'm a sophomore, or I'm a freshman. I look up to you, and I just want to know, like, how did you get there, or what can I do to get there, and stuff like that." So yeah, there definitely is a lot of that.
That's very cool that you can inspire a younger generation.
Yeah.
Just even from your standpoint, nowadays you can talk to anybody, not just from where you're at, but it's being online is just a different way of life than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So opportunities there. Now, I guess, I'll finish off just with a very broad question about like what the mile means to you. You've run it very well, and it's one of your most successful distances, and you're on the cusp of reaching a historic mark. So, what does this distance mean to you?
Yeah, I think
The mile is a really special distance in itself, and it's something. I think it's one that a lot of people know. It's like the sub 4 mile. Like it's a really big deal, and even in general, like people, you talk to someone like all the sprinters, are like, yo, what's your 40 dash time or what's your 100 time? I think even those guys, they'll be like, they understand a mile. Like everyone, I think most people, even not even in the sport, they understand like a mile. Like, hey, I can run a mile in 9 minutes. So like I think that's really cool. It's kind of the most probably special distance event and distance race, and um, so I think that part of it's really cool. But also, I think it's just a really good fit for me right now and where I'm at. And as I transition to the next level, I might bump it up in distance a little bit more, and I might not get to run as many miles. But I think for right now, I've been really enjoying it. And obviously, you got the really prestigious kind of barrier of the sub 4, which is going to be really fun when I finally get to obliterate that. But um, so yeah, I think it's just a really cool event, and it's kind of unlike any other. It just has a little bit more kind of weight to it. So
For sure. Well, you'll have plenty of opportunities. I know you're gonna smash it. It's gonna come at some point. It's just a matter of when. So, yeah, I think a lot of people are pulling for you too. So, Brian, thank you so much for being with me, and for taking the time to chat. And obviously, Kansas City Relay is coming up in April. You have Arcadia. You have a lot of different meets. Is there one meet in particular, like down the road, that you're looking forward to? Is there a championship race that is going to be super big in 26 for you?
yeah, I feel like there's a lot of
races on the calendar that are going to be really big, but I would say one of them that I am looking forward to a lot again is going back to Running Lane, and the atmosphere is always really good there. And for May, like you don't really get very many races like that in the month of May, and to be able to go out there with the atmosphere it has, and to have like a national championship like that with but also the ability to run really fast there. Usually the weather is great. You get a night race with pace lights and pacers, and I thought that's a really unique opportunity, and probably one I'm going to be definitely looking forward to and tuning up for. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, we're going to be pulling for you. Thank you again for the time, Brian, and for everybody else watching. Stay tuned for more interviews ahead of the Kansas City Relays in April. Thank you very much.